He pointed to the fold-out chair beside the trash can. "Sorry," he said, smirking. "This table's for family only." The laughter from the others rolled across the room like static. Forks clinked. My mother looked away. My brother, the golden son, leaned back in his chair, basking in their approval. I sat alone. It wasn't the first time he'd humiliated me, but it would be the last. I used to admire Daniel. He was loud, confident, the kind of man people orbit without realizing it. When our father died, he became the family's center. I handled the paperwork, the estate, the unglamorous work, but Daniel took the credit. He called it team effort. I called it what it was, theft. Still, I loved him once. I really did. He was my brother. When he asked to borrow money to keep the business afloat, I didn't hesitate. I wired him $42,000, my entire savings. He promised to pay me back within the year. I believed him, stupidly. He used my money to buy himself a new car. That was the first fracture. The second came when he convinced our mother to transfer her house into his name for tax reasons. She trusted him. We all did, until I found the papers in her mail. A quiet transfer of ownership, her signature forged. That's when I stopped being his brother and started being his shadow. I didn't confront him. I waited. You learn more by silence than shouting. I started small, checking the company filings, the loan documents, the bank statements he forgot to log out of at family dinners. He was careless, overconfident. That's what arrogance does. It blinds you to quiet eyes. Within months, I had everything. The forged documents, the unpaid debts, the creative bookkeeping. He'd been siphoning money from the family business for years. Mom's tax house wasn't tax-related at all. It was collateral for one of his personal loans. I remember the exact moment I stopped feeling anger and started feeling purpose. It was when I realized how easy it was going to be to take him down. The plan took 6 months. First, I made a quiet visit to our family lawyer, an old friend of Dad's who still owed me a favor. I gave him everything: the documents, the signatures, the dates. We restructured ownership behind Daniel's back, freezing assets under a pending investigation. Then I called the bank. A polite inquiry about the misuse of business loans. I left no name, just evidence. Enough to trigger an internal audit. I knew what was coming for him, but I didn't rush it. Revenge isn't about speed, it's about precision. I let him dig his own hole. Watch him drive that luxury car, laugh over dinners I paid for, call me the responsible one with a patronizing pat on the shoulder, and I smiled back, always smiling. Then came his birthday dinner, the one where the chair waited for me by the trash can. He'd booked a private room at the most expensive restaurant in town. Family, friends, investors, everyone who mattered to him was there. He was loud, drunk, and untouchable in his own mind. When the waiter brought the bill, $3,200, Daniel leaned back and nodded toward me. "Split it with my brother," he said. "He's got deep pockets." The waiter looked at me. Everyone did. Daniel grinned. "Come on, don't be shy. You can afford it." That's when I stood. Calm, steady. "Not my table," I said. He laughed until the waiter turned to him, confused. "Sir, the card you provided has been declined." Daniel frowned, tried another, then another. Each declined. I watched the color drain from his face. The laughter faded. The room stiffened. I knew why. Every account under his name, frozen. Every business asset, seized. Every luxury, gone. And the cherry on top? His name was now flagged in 3 financial institutions for fraud. The audit had gone public that morning. He looked at me across the table, a flicker of realization in his eyes. "You?" I just smiled. "Enjoy your dinner, Daniel." And I walked out. The fallout was swift. The company folded under investigation. The car repossessed. The house, our mother's house, legally restored to her. He called me for weeks, begging, threatening, sobbing. I didn't answer. You see, revenge isn't about making someone suffer. It's about teaching them who they really are when no one comes to save them. He'd built his empire on deceit. I simply removed the scaffolding. A year later, I visited Mom. We ate quietly in her kitchen, the same house she almost lost. Daniel's picture still hung in the hallway. She couldn't bring herself to take it down. I didn't ask her to. She poured me tea and said softly, "You never did tell me what happened between you two." I looked at the steam curling above the cup. "Just business, Mom," I said. "Just business." That night I drove past the restaurant, the same one where he'd made me sit by the trash can. Through the window I saw the same table, empty now.